What are they doing? How come it's like this all the time? I do a 15-minute video and it gives me 4 minutes. Now I got to backtrack. I don't like backtracking. I'm really, really powerful now. I'm really powerful. It's insane. But like I said, there's only so much I can write down. There's so much I can speak. And yeah, you can say, well, why are you giving us all this gibberish at the beginning? You have to get into form. You know, you get onto the ice. What do you want the guy to go 100 miles an hour and break his neck? The same thing with the mind. You have to tenderize it. You see all those people who are losing their minds because they don't understand how the mind works. Isn't it weird? Because it's the only thing that ever leads us is part of the mind. That's the spirit part. It's gone from this body and it's going to inhibit something else. And it's going to look like something you've seen before. You go, oh, yeah, now I'm, yeah, right, you know? Do you know why a giraffe has a long neck this way? Or if he had a long neck that way, what would he do to eat? Right? He'd break his neck. Anyways, where did I leave off on the last one? Sorry about that. I made up the redo part of it. Did I tell you about the stairway to heaven? Did I tell you about the monopoly? See, nothing goes around anymore the way I said it before. I didn't do this and I skipped this. Anyways, I went on with the stairway to heaven, okay? And whatever I said in the last cassette, well, I'm deciding I'm going to change that, okay? Although it is an actual 13 total steps of the game, it's not the total steps according to and what is in the game, because there's extra steps in the game. Isn't the way that it works? You have to step into another building out of your house to play the game and onto the rink and into the dressing room and out. So the way I figure out the dressing room right now is on one of the point figures like this. That's the roulette wheel, okay? And what I did is I configured, okay, that exact design that is exactly on the wheel. I connected the reds with each other. I put the king of diamonds because he is on the 1-7, which means the one spirit, which is the red spirit, and there's no other red spirit in heaven but God because the heart is on earth, okay? So he's the red diamond. He's the 7, he's the passage of the 5. That's the 5-hole passage, okay? And below it you see the 3 moons. Well, that's the beta queen. She represents the 3 moons because it's the 3 worlds. When she makes a birth in one world, she makes a birth in all 3 worlds because the spirit birth is what it's all about, right? Spirit rebirth. 4-5 angle. Angles and angels. Well, we always misrepresent all these words. It's like saying se, ven, ile, ven. Okay? You don't think these words go back together and get eliminated? One of these words must be eliminated. Do we have to have the yin and the yang and everything? Some of them will stay, but they were just inverted. Otherwise, they're no use at all. The 8 just about does everything. Then you can cut it up and re-splice it back together. Anyways, I use this because it starts on the 14. And on the 14 in Rubik's Cube, you're at the center of Rubik's Cube, the Jesus Christ cross right there. Now you're a passage into the next world. You go over to the 16, which explains, it's in red, the one spirit of the 6th man. It's explaining what the value of that is. It curves onto the other side, saying the one spirit of the heaven, which means the beta world and man's world. God's world is already everything. They don't have to say anything for it. Okay? Then they have 1-9, which is the one spirit of birth. Okay, which I believe is what that spirit is all about on this earth, the one spirit birth. We were born to the one spirit. And that's why the 9 and the 6 flip upside down, because God's world is upside down, or we're upside down, or Europe's upside down, or whatever it is. Something the fly is upside down. And also we use 20. Where we see the moons of beta, we use the 20, and we get the 20 because 2 is the beta, and the 0 is her world, okay? It's her O world, it's her 5. It's her 5-2. You see, beta, okay, has to use the 5 ring. The 5 is a male, but beta gets to use the male, okay? They intertwine with that 5. That 5 goes many ways. And the 5 actually breaks down into the plum pie, turns into a 7. You can't actually get that straight. My hand is almost a 7, the way it is. See that nice 7 with the finger curled? Check out that number 7, eh? Check that out. Take a picture of that. Yeah, baby. Whoa, did something good. Or is that a lumid? No. Could be a lumid. I don't think so. Anyways, just to show you just a little bit more of the hookup of our Earth, but this is what it is. You see the sailboat with Jack's head upside down? It's in a clam. That's a big clam shell. Don't you see it? Okay, I just want to show you another clam shell, which is not a full clam shell. I get all excited when I can match things, you know. Boom, I matched it. Here. Here. See the little clams? The shell's opened up, or you want to do it this way? This is a closed shell. This is the letter I. You see his brain? Around and around and around. It says E-World in his brain right there at the beginning. It has the beaver. You see that? When you make that twirl inside like that, it turns into the Canadian nickel and beaver. So we got beavers in our head. Our head are like castor. The beaver is the castor in French. Rotar, castor. Castor, castor, rocar. Anyways, I don't want to use up too much time. I'm still smoking. Definitely, it's going. Definitely, one day. Another thing I wanted to show you, it's also it's an exacto light, but I'm going to show you back to the last picture again. First of all, this 8 over here that you see, the one that's close together, is actually made with 2 hearts. And that's also a system they use for chains going around sprockets. Another thing I wanted to show you, if you remember looking at this, take a good look. The world spins on that diamond. It's a diamond head, okay? Or is it the clam in the ocean? But there's diamonds on both ends, but I only created it on one end, okay? Now take a close look at that. I'm not going to change anything. You see the mug and David? It's a mug and David, my friends. Which hand is it? I can't see the picture, and I can't see. Oh yeah. Do you see do you see it? Because I didn't make it large enough. I should have had it a little bit wider. But that is the mug and David, my friend. On its side, it looks like, grinding into the ground on one end, grinding up the other way, and life is spinning around one way and turning the other way. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but I definitely believe this is somehow how it must work, this way or the other way. So now if we're drilling into the Arctic, and if this design shows a clam on one end, and it shows a diamond on the other end, what are they drilling into the Arctic for right now? Oh my God, my computer went out on me. Oh, thank God you're back. Yeah, what are they drilling for? All these diamond points and spirit. You need diamonds. You need diamonds for spirit, and you need the oil to grind out the gears. So, does anybody really ever track the angles of the oil fields around the world, and where is really the oil's coming from? Because, you know, when they say drying up, they don't really mean drying up like that. When this thing dries up on Earth, my friends, our Earth starts to crack. Okay, if this is what we need, if this is true and they're moving on this kind of cycle that I see here, although you don't see it in the ground, because in the ground it becomes slats, okay, or it becomes rock, big rock, small rock. It's all kinds of different rock. It doesn't move quick. You don't see. It'll take 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 years. That's the thing. But it's constantly on the move. I mean, they're always talking about it. Not everything's on the move. Eventually, sometimes the center moves last. But anyways, I'm not aware exactly. But anyways, this can also be a sailboat. They also did make a movie about a sphere that spun around this way. But don't forget, it's also got to spin this way. Okay? So now that I showed you that, I'm going to do one thing. Now, okay, the center roulette is 17 and 20. One spirit of the God, which connects the two sides, like I went over yesterday. 20 is the beta world. Now, when you work down the roulette wheel, okay, after you finish with 20, and you pass 21, which means the angel, okay, the beta angel. 22 means light. 23 means the creation. 24 is the creation, which is the 2 beta of the 4 angle, which is man. The 2 angles of the 4 angles of beta. I have to say it backwards. Okay, the other one is 25. 26 is the beta world. 27, they explain beta God. 28, the beta heaven. 29 is the beta birth. 30 are the 3 worlds. The 3 worlds of the one spirit, the 3 worlds of the beta spirit, and so on and so forth. So basically man lives, it comes into his life on 20. Okay, so if man comes into his life on 20, 20 from the start of Monopoly puts him in free parking. Isn't that correct? So he gets a free shot at life somehow. Then they explain who his life, they explain who he is. You know, it's Monopoly's got the 40 spaces. It takes 41 to get to the Mediterranean. The 41st is in the second cube. It is the second center cross of Jesus in the second cube, which is 41. So therefore, I say it would be at 41 that man begins life. So we'd have to start the stairway to heaven would be 41 steps back up to the top. Would that be correct? So that would be a more accurate count of the Stairway to Heaven song. There's 41 steps back up. But now I have to do the rest of the calculations. What if I was here in the world, or here in the world, or here? Does it all count for 1? Because I'm supposed to be, everything begins where? In the Middle East, of course. Can't you see the king there? He's in the middle of the East. Anyways, before this video ends, what I want to get to is this. Okay? Everything must go through the 5 ring. Beta creation. Okay? 2, 3 is the 5 ring. The 4 has to go to the 5 ring, and the 6 has to go to the 5 ring, both so they can communicate. So 4 and 5 makes 9. 5 ring and 6 man make 11. And together they make 911. Elenin, the comet coming through. These buildings that fell down, the Twin Towers, I wasn't going to get into this right now, but was all wrong. I can't explain it now. I have it in my books, but I can't explain it. It was all wrong. It was made to fall. Okay? It was just made to fall. Man stood up against man somehow. Somehow they did something in building that they weren't supposed to do. And that's why maybe it was supposed to fall. Maybe they set it up that day from day 1. Oh, for sure from day 1, for sure. How old are those buildings? For sure, from day 1, for sure. For sure. Oh my God, you know what it is? Oh my God, I think I know. Oh my God, it's insane. I can't believe it. They worked as a team. Oh my God, they worked as a team. Now the highway 85 miles an hour in Texas, 85 in Montana. Oh my God. Highway 25 through Colorado. Come over, cross over Nevada. You come down from Washington because there is an apple there. The potato is an apple in French. All these places all connect. All of them. They got to get to all the apples. Somehow it's a code of some sort. I don't know. I've been feeling very strong lately. I can just think about anything and make up just any idea. They all seem to work out at the end. I respect if they do not work out at the end. The war of 911. 911 is 20. Beta, beta. Okay? But in 2015, okay, it becomes beta egg. That means when you're scrambling your own eggs, my friend, you know them yellow yolks of protein? They're all up for a big fight. 2015, okay, in the resorts of the heavens says 15 equals 10 plus 5. That's what God says. So now I reframe those words and says beta je. It means beta juice. The strength of beta is coming. Because the O says J-E in French, it means I. I come. God comes. 2015, it says beta I, which means God comes because beta is God. 2015 is the year, my friend.